Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to LinkedIn Live from NICE. I'm David Wasserman, and this is David Geffen.
Hey there.
I asked David to join us today due to the tremendous amount of questions and requests we get from senior leaders in contact centers around employee performance management. As many of you know, David is a thought leader in this area, and I asked him to join us today to specifically talk about what we think are the 3 best practices around employee performance management in the contact center. So David, I'll hand it over to you, but before you start,
Okay.
I see that you brought some items.
Gifts.
And maybe you can help explain exactly what this is as part of your discussion today.
Yeah, sure. So, I'll be going to be kind of going over each one of these items and kind of using them to kind of elaborate and share what the best practices are.
Okay.
Kind of so help everyone
Awesome.
kind of relate to it.
I'm excited to see how you do this.
Okay, well, it should be cool.
Okay.
So, well, let's just kind of give a start. What is actually performance management for those who have, not been living on a business contact center planet for the past 10 years. So,
Terrific.
Yeah, but performance management is a solution which enables organizations to measure how their contact center is doing against their goals. Okay, how they're performing against their goals, hence the word performance.
Okay.
And actively allows them to drive the performance of their contact center.
Okay.
Basically simple as that. The ability kind of to measure how you're doing, define the goals, measure how you're doing towards them, and then drive your employees and improve them to get it.
I get it.
Yeah. So how does it actually, let's kind of go again to 3 best practices. I guess here's the first one. Okay, so for it's a puzzle. It's got nothing actually to do with
500-piece puzzle,
yeah,
by the way.
500 piece. That's actually pretty cool, but look at this. Okay, so when you get a puzzle, and this is happening today so much in the world of data, I mean, you're getting more and more and more pieces of data. You know, in fact, David, 90% of the data organizations have today has been created in the last 2 years.
Wow.
To a large extent, the challenge organizations have today is not getting more of these pieces of data, but it's trying to bring them all together so you can create this single picture. So I guess that would be best practice number 1. You need to be asking for a solution which has the ability to bring together all those pieces of data which your organization has today and which it will be obtaining tomorrow. You don't want to start getting into this situation where you need to rip everything out and redesign the whole thing because of a new source of data. It has to be able basically to
future-proof.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of bring everything in today.
Right.
And be able to also work with the stuff which you're getting tomorrow.
So before you move on, how is this different? I mean, I've seen solutions in the past. I'm sure our audience have seen solutions that are really focused on data within the ACD.
Okay.
And when I looked at all those puzzle pieces, 500 plus puzzle pieces, that's more than the ACD. How is this system that you're talking about different?
So look, the ACD is one source of data.
Okay.
Okay. And when all you had was an ACD, that data on its own was fine because that was the only piece of information you had. But just puzzles, you see it's like 500, 1,000, the more
and that's what you're talking about.
Exactly, because the more time goes by, you're getting more and more sources of data.
Okay.
So you need now this ability to have a solution which kind of really brings them together so you can actually see this full big picture. And this is very, very important. You need to see it not only at the executive level.
Right.
Okay. You need to have a solution which also shows it at every single level inside the organization, and everyone will have their own personalized view.
Okay.
Okay. So that would kind of be best practice number 1.
Okay. So I'm anxiously waiting this one.
Okay. Now this is actually the scary one because most organizations think that kind of if we can have a solution which just brings it all together, that's basically that's it.
Right.
But here's the time. See, many organizations, I mean, of course, the idea is to start spending time now on coaching your agents and your supervisors on what they're needing to do. The trick is always to try and figure out where the problem actually is and what is most important. Okay? Would it be the average handle time of John, or would it be the adherence to schedule of Jenny, or would it be the first contact resolution in sales interactions of Tom? What is the one which is most affecting the KPI? Now, you don't want to have a supervisor which spends most of their day on trying to figure out where the problem is and what requires to focus. So advanced solutions, advanced performance management solutions should have this ability to have kind of built-in AI which will help the supervisors to point to where they need to focus so that they're focusing kind of on the right things and that they spend most of their time on coaching to the problem rather than trying to figure out where the problem actually is.
Now, if I think about my past experience in a
Yeah.
call center, I remember sitting in my seat with my employees and people that I work with,
Okay.
and seeing a board that said everyone needs to focus on that item
that
right
kind
now.
of like that single view, but of all metrics.
Yeah. So
That's
how
right.
is what you're talking about in this best practice different than that world?
So that's exactly, I mean, kind of what we used to have, and many organizations still have it, and it's an important view of kind of seeing how we are all doing, the number of calls waiting, the average handle time, all this. But when there is a problem, the supervisor needs to know exactly where and on what they need to go ahead and focus. They need to know, do they need to focus on which agent, on what type of interaction, sales calls, service calls, do we need to focus on the chats, on the emails,
Okay.
on the phone calls? That is the idea.
So it's a variety of levers. It's a variety of pieces of the puzzle
Exactly.
that it's letting you focus
and
on.
which one is most impactful? At the end of the day, it will help you point you to what is most required to focus on,
Yeah.
so that you achieve your goals.
Okay.
Simple
awesome.
as that.
Okay. So now,
So you've got kind of the bring together.
yeah,
You've got the point.
I got it.
You got the point.
And now I'm this one
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't figure
this
out.
This is actually my favorite, because everyone says, okay, how do we now deal? We brought it together. Let's say we have understood now what the full picture is.
Right.
We understood where we need to focus. Okay, let's now just do straightforward coaching. But
Right.
here it comes. So many organizations are investing in coaching today.
Okay.
I mean, basically, if you're a contact center, you're investing in coaching. Analysis and reports show that a standard 500 agent contact center is investing $2 million each year in,
Wow.
in coaching. That's
A lot of money.
Yeah, that's industry standard. And here comes the question. What is the ROI of your coaching? And seriously, I challenge here everyone, just remember this question. If you go back and say, okay, we're investing so much time in coaching, what is the ROI of it? And now it kind of comes in, because, okay, I brought here, this game is called soccer. You guys
Football, soccer,
football,
yeah, got
soccer.
it.
That's right. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
The other side of the Atlantic.
Right.
Now, the trick is, everyone has got their goal. That's right. The goal is to win the game.
Right.
But here, everyone in the soccer team, that's right, you won't train the goalie the same way you train,
No.
the defender.
You
That's
won't
right.
win.
That's right. You won't win.
Right.
That's right. Because everyone has their own path.
Right.
And you can measure also. You should be able also to measure how effective that path was for each, player. It goes exactly the same in the contact center.
Okay.
You and I may share the same goals.
Okay.
We may even share the same challenges, but the path to our success, what we need to focus on and how, that may be different. I may have an issue with a politeness. You may have an issue with objection handling. On me, what may work best would be trivia. On you, it may be online learning, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, knowledge, any of those. And the trick is that if you have for each person, based on their KPI, their own individual and personalized path, which effectiveness you can measure how effective that was, you can then reach a level of personalization and measure, this is an important part, and measure the impact of a coaching on your organization's KPI. So you can actually see
Right.
the ROI.
So it's an extension of best practice to around.
That's right.
It's not a one size fits all.
That's right.
It's a uniqueness to each individual.
So here's the best practice on this one.
Right.
We may share the same goals.
Right.
But the paths to these goals need to be personalized. So good performance management has to have a certain capability inside which will enable you to define your own personalized path for success for each agent, for each metric, and it should be a learning system. That's right. So works based on what worked best in the past.
Amazing. So I have some questions that we received
Okay.
in advance of the show.
Okay.
And I thought I'd ask you just a couple, just to kind of get further under some of the best practices you're talking about.
Let's go.
I've got a bunch, so I'm going
You've got
to pick a good one.
Go ahead.
Right. The first one, I think this will be helpful. It's from an insurance executive,
Okay.
a call center vice president at a large commercial company.
Sure.
As you know, insurance is a highly regulated industry,
That's
a lot
right.
of rules to abide by.
Yeah.
How does this type of innovative approach apply in that space? Will it apply in that space?
Yeah. So I can share kind of a use case from one of our insurance providers.
Yeah.
They once getting kind of bring it all together and understand what the issue was. One of the paths which the system recommended to them was don't focus on the negative.
Okay.
Focus with these groups of agents on the positive. So kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Don't focus on what these people are not doing well. Focus on what they are doing well. Why? That yielded a better level of performance. It was a higher effectiveness. So the system was able to tell them, focus on this. They did this, and they saw an increase this way in the performance. You can only do this if you have a system which kind of brings it all together, points to where the issue is, and then kind of drives it with these personalized programs. So that's kind of one example. It worked very well for them.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
One more question. Okay, this is a good one. I think it'll apply to many
Yeah,
of
the
our many
previous one
people in
wasn't
our
bad,
audience.
but yeah.
This is, I think, even better.
Okay.
Millennials and Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Right? So, big part of the population, this particular executive runs a call center that's over 50% of that category, that generation. Will this apply? That's a hard generation,
Yeah.
lots of turnover. How does this fit in that environment? How does it work?
Okay, so I wasn't actually going about to speak about this because we kind of talked about the bring together point, but we talked about personalization. So already the moment you have a personalized plan for everyone, that already helps because you've got like this autonomous view, so everyone kind of sees what applies to them.
Right.
And you know, autonomy is a big thing today, especially with millennials who want to believe that this is, you know, like their zone, this is where they can work.
Right.
And you have these personalized programs for them because it focuses specifically on their strengths, what works for them.
Okay.
But then you also need to start adding, we're seeing organizations doing this today as part of a performance program, they start adding inside gamification mechanics. That's right, this is the whole idea of an awarding system with points and badges, and you put that as part of a program. So if you complete these tasks, you start getting awards. And that means they get incentivized to get better.
Okay.
And everyone's, I mean, one of the things which drives us is mastery, getting better at what we do.
Right.
So setting up a performance solution which also has not only personalized programs, but ones which are engaging,
Right.
actively engaging, that is the key thing for
This
driving
is what we
performance.
hear in that generation
That's right.
missing.
That's right. And we're hearing it more and more and more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you, David, for joining us today on LinkedIn Live by
Sure.
NICE. You presented to us the 3 best practices in employee performance management in
Yeah.
the contact center environment. And just to recap, they
Yeah,
are...
let's do them together. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Come
I'm
on.
ready.
It's kind of bring together.
Okay,
bring
got it.
together,
Yeah, bring together,
point,
point,
and drive performance.
and drive performance. I
You
got it.
Well done.
Well, thank you for joining us, David,
Sure
and have a
thing.
great day, everyone in LinkedIn.
Thanks very much. Cheers.